Hey everybody, it's Ted from Mob Rules. So I have something of a little change of pace here. Not really opening something new or any of that jazz, but you saw the description, so you kind of know what I'm doing. So a really sad thing happened. Remember the aggressors that I did? Yeah, after a tournament, I clear coated them. I'm so sad. They kind of got ghosted. I don't know. That's the worst, absolute worst. I mean, totally the worst thing ever. And I know what you're saying. No, Ted. What about apartheid? Like, okay, well, fine. Apartheid is worse than ghosting, but still, outside of apartheid, it's the worst thing ever. No, Ted. What about esophagus cancer? Okay, well, fucking esophagus cancer is worse than this. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that it's the worst thing ever. Ted, what about racial injustice? Okay, it's bad too. There's a lot of things that are worse than this. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said this is the worst thing ever. Ugh, stop it, hypothetical person that's not really here talking to me. Ah! Okay, so there's a lot of things that are worse than this. It's just mildly annoying. I mean, like, really annoying. I don't know. I don't want to judge it. It's in the annoying area, not the worst thing ever area. But it bothers me a lot. And so I hit it with the purity seal. It's probably too humid in my garage. And then immediately I hit it with purity seal again, and it didn't help. So I posted on the Warhammer TV site. Hey guys, can you tell me what to do about this? Because it's the worst thing ever, except for apartheid, esophagus cancer, and racial injustice. And my buddy Peter said to take an aerosol can upside down and hit it. So that seems a little weird. I've never heard that before. So we're going to try that. I also heard olive oil is supposed to do it, but then I also heard somebody say that olive oil will rub off and then you're kind of back to square one. And considering it's an oil, I kind of think that I'm not even going to try that because it just seems like it's temporary and that's not what I want. But GW also said Lahmian Medium is the thing to do. Lahmian Medium. It's a technical paint or whatever, not paint. So we're going to try that as well. So we'll try the aerosol upside down thing, and we'll try the Lahmian Medium. Just a quick little background on like why you get ghosting. Generally, it's a humidity issue or some sort of atmospheric interference. And what's happening, I think, is that the particles are hitting the surface, but they're not settling just right, probably because the humidity is changing the texture of the paint and not letting it glaze nicely. It's disrupting that, so you end up with like a roughish surface. And so that white is, or ghosting is kind of the color of the disturbed particulates. I'm sure there's a better definition for that than that, but that's kind of basically what it is. So when you do clear coat things, make sure it's a nice, not so humid day out. Or if it's really humid outside and you don't have forced air heating, like I don't have forced air heating, then chances are it's going to be humid inside as well as outside. So a lot of times in the past, I would do it in my bathroom, and I'd put up a bunch of candles, and I would summon Satan, and Satan would do it. Actually, I wouldn't do that, but I would do like candles, so it would eat the aerosol particles, and that generally worked. But when you're living with other people, it's a problem when they're like, "Stop spray painting in the house." So anyway, let's go ahead and try one of those techniques, and we'll review it. All right. So right away, I'm going to start with the Lahmian Medium, just to see what happens with this. I don't know what to expect with it, to be honest. I don't exactly know what it is. I think it's, I imagine it's probably, I believe it's medium from paint. I think that's really what it is. So it's kind of like, I don't know what it would call it. It's almost like a glue. But not in like your typical I'm gonna glue stuff together kind of sense. I think it's so if I had to guess, I think that's what it is, and so that would kind of make sense, I guess, that that it would smooth things over, since I think what you're kind of looking to do with this is to smooth all the imperfections in the paint from the humidity issue. So that's kind of what we're going for. So I think, like, in a way, you can kind of look at Lahmian Medium as kind of like a really mild ard coat. Maybe it might, I mean, effectively, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's see what happens here. So far, it's looking like it's doing the trick. And the nice thing is, like, what I consider putting the ard coat on it, but I think, like, ard coat is kind of severe. Like, or not severe. I'm sorry, I'm paying more attention to the painting this than I am my wordy bits. But I think it's I don't want to build up mass on top of the model, if that makes sense. Like, if you keep doing that, eventually it's just going to be like a big blob. Not to say that I'm actually going to go that far with it, but I just have a dogmatic aversion to thick coats. And that was before Duncan came along and changed all of our lives. So I think that kind of got all the visual parts, right? So, like, maybe a lot of, oh, there we go. Yeah. Well, it's looking pretty good so far. We'll have to let this set for a little bit and see what happens. All right. Well, I don't know. I'm not totally sold on it. It helped a little bit, but I feel that it's yeah, I don't know. It's just softened it. I don't know. The opposite of softened it. So it seems like that's not quite the solution. What might end up happening, I might try some ard coat, because I like where it's going, but it just doesn't seem like it did it enough. Maybe another layer. So let me try and put another layer on it and see what happens. Okay, so the next step is purity seal. We don't want to shake it, so I'm trying not to move it too much, although it's really hard not to. So then the idea is that we handle it upside down, and the aerosol itself, oh shoot. The aerosol itself should be enough to kind of revitalize it. On the back, I accidentally hit it. Like, it hadn't settled just right, so there is a little bit of a purity seal on there, aerosol on the front. So, I don't know. Oh, Peter. It looks like it's gotten worse. Don't do that. Well, you can kind of see the results here. I think that, oh gosh, the Lahmian Medium did a pretty good job, honestly. I put a second coat on there, and that helped. It's not perfect. It's not as crisp as I would like it to be, but maybe another coat would help. Also, yeah, I might try watering down some ard coat, and just kind of see what that does. For tabletop, gosh, I really had these guys to where I wanted them, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to get them back. But yeah, when I did the upside down can thing, it was, you couldn't see it. I washed my hands right afterwards, but the aerosol, I mean, it was like white paint on my hands. I quickly spun it around, shook it, and hit it with the purity seal. So that's not the way to do it. I would not do that at all. And it's actually a little bit worse than had I not done that. So that's kind of where that's at. Yeah, so real quick, I did try watering down some ard coat with this guy. And I kind of came up with, it kind of sped things up. So between the Lahmian Medium and the ard coat guy, I think it was like nearly the same result. The only thing different is in the recesses, the pooling happened, and it got a little glossy in the recesses. So I think this is 3 coats of Lahmian Medium. That's a watered down coat of ard coat with Lahmian Medium on top of it. And I think that kind of sped it up, but if you're just diligent and do a few layers there of lamium, that's the way to go. I think I put some lamium on top of this guy just to see what would happen. And it kind of toned it down a little bit. Nowhere near enough. I think he's going to be stripped. But anyway, that's it. So I think lamium is a winner. However, it doesn't bring it back to its original glory. So just make sure it's not a humid day. Not a humid day. And you'll be fine. And also make sure to shake up your cans. That's it. So anyway, I hope you found this useful. If you have any other solutions, let me know. I'm definitely curious to see what you guys come up with. All right, bye.